Hi, my name is James Green. I'm a TV presenter, sports reporter, and journalist, and you're listening to the Us People podcast with Savia Rocks. And she rocks.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Us People podcast. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I'm humbled to have James Green with me today, who is a TV presenter, sports reporter, and journalist. James, thank you so much for coming on the Us People podcast. How are you?
I'm even better talking to you with that soothing voice in my ear. Wow.
Oh, that's perfect. It's making me shy now, see?
The best voice ever.
Oh, see, I'm really humbled when people say things like that, but it also makes me go really shy because when you hear yourself and when you're talking, it's two completely different things.
Oh, you're talking to me on this. I hate my voice.
No, you've got a really good voice. Well, you're a TV presenter as well, so you must hear yourself all the time.
Yeah, but I have to change my voices, you see. So depending on what I'm doing, I might have a very, very well-spoken TV presenter voice.
Hey.
That I pronounce my words properly. Or if I'm in a casual chat, it's a, wait.
I want you to be yourself today. I love it. That's the
Not
best
too,
thing.
why? I'll just be myself. I'll just be a little bit more casual.
No, that's perfect. So, James, the first question I always ask everyone, and I'm sure everyone knows this about the podcast, is I always love to know about people's backgrounds, where they grew up, and how that influenced them to be the person who you are today. So tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, I love that. My parents, I'll have to send them this because they'll love it because I'm about to shine praise on them.
Oh.
Yeah, I am. Do you know what? I am, and I describe myself as one of the luckiest people around because my parents are still together.
Yes.
My parents have been my solid rocks throughout my whole life. My dad worked incredibly hard to give us, like, when we went on holiday, we would have nice holidays. But one thing they never did was ever give me stuff.
Okay.
I'd always have to work hard for it. So, you know, I saw his work ethic, and to learn from someone like him who used to leave the house at 5 a.m. in the morning, not get back till maybe 7, 8 p.m. in the evening, caused a bit of a strain in our relationship until I was more mature enough to look back and go, wow, he did that for us.
Yes.
Because when you're young and you're immature, you don't see it like that. You just want their attention all the time. And he worked so hard for us. And my mum worked as well. And then she looked after myself and my older sister. But they just helped us tackle the world that is right now. Great morals installed in me, but it's the work ethic that was key. It was always work harder than the next person.
Yes, I agree.
Work harder than the next person and don't complain so much because that's not getting you anywhere. And that's something that will always be instilled in my life. And, you know, very fortunate to have that life. And, you know, it set me up to where I am today.
See, that's the one thing I find is that when your parents do set you up like that, your personality shines. And that's
100%.
It's such an authentic and beautiful thing. Whereas if you're always complaining, which a lot of people are doing today, you have a totally different outlook on them and who they are as a person. So I know we spoke a little bit about your parents, but how was their influence so strongly installed in you as you were growing up?
Great question. I think from just as a young kid, they gave me freedom. So it was like, you know, they kept me on the end of a string, but the string was extended as time went on, and trust is built. So the more trust I was able to show them, the better it became, and the longer this piece of string came. And you know what? Like, one thing that's really sad, I think, nowadays is that so many kids and young people can't play out on the streets. Do you know what I mean? And parents are worried now about safety. I mean, one of the best things about growing up where I did was we lived on a cul-de-sac, and it was just like loads of kids down the street. And all we did was just every evening get back from school, straight out on the street, kick balls around, play, run around, cycle, bike, whatever it was, just this pure freedom to do it. But it was always as long as I didn't take the mick. You know, as long as I was sensible, as long as I came back when they told me to come back, and that's what it was all about, and that's something they just instilled in me, and I again, you mature as you get older, and you start respecting that, and you respect that so much more that they're giving this to me. That's where this fine balance is, and as long as I tread the line carefully, then that's absolutely fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I was an angel, because we know what it's like when we're kids. We push those lines as far as we possibly can. And I definitely caused my parents a few headaches during the years. But ultimately, they instilled that in me. They taught me to work hard. They taught me to put the effort in school. And I feel like it's paid off now. So, yeah, for them, I thank them. And
See.
yeah, they'll probably laugh at me and say, stop being so soppy. But
No, it's love.
no,
Like parents, it's love. Yeah.
lots of love.
It's
Lots of
coming
love.
from me as well. No, when you have a son who is a beautiful person, then you know you've done the right job. Yeah. So so that's for your parents, guys. Oh, see, you put a heart there. See,
I'm sending you some love.
I'm
Oh, it
sending you
makes me go
some
warm
love.
inside.
So tell me where your journey began, because this is something that I really would love to know. Is so TV presenter, sports reporter, and journalist. They're all pretty hard jobs. They're not easy.
Yeah, my journey, it's a tough one, because I speak to a lot of young people, and I try and like give them a little bit of advice about what to do, and a lot of it is also what not to do, because I made
Yeah.
so many mistakes, and we do make mistakes,
But do
but
you see them
but
as mistakes, James, rather than lessons in life?
as long as you learn from those mistakes,
Yeah.
then it's fine. Do you know what I
Perfect.
mean?
I
And
love it.
that's how
Yeah.
I always see it.
I love it.
Um, but I made loads of mistakes. But my journey was just honestly, it's bizarre. It's really, really bizarre. Okay, so I studied at university, sport development with coaching. I almost did journalism, but chose a different path, and I regret that, because I wish I'd done the journalism. But that's okay, because later in life I did do the journalism, which I'm sure I'll get to. But I had a full time job after university, and then so this is a funny story, and it's a story about how I guess it all started for me. And I was sat one afternoon on a Sunday, slightly hungover, I think, with an ex girlfriend at the time, and we were watching a TV show called Shipwrecked.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've
So
heard
it's
of
a
it.
reality show on a desert island. Looking at it, going, beautiful people on this island. God, that looks great, doesn't it? God, wouldn't that be great? Anyway, at the end of the episode, they said, "Oh, does anyone want to apply for next season?" You go to this website. Now, my girlfriend at the time said to me, "You'd be great at this. You'd be great. Why don't you apply?" In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, "You are the most amazing girlfriend ever. You're encouraging me to apply to go on this show with beautiful people for 5 months on a desert island. Wow, you are a keeper." What I didn't realize is that was her way of trying to break up with me. It's just a really strange way of
Oh,
doing it. Yeah, yeah. And anyway, so I applied, and initially didn't get into the first people who went out on the island. So her patience subsided, and she just finished our relationship there and then. Um, but
wow.
a week later, I received an email from the production team, and I was invited actually in for an interview
Yeah.
and an audition. And within 3 days and two auditions, I was handed my bags and told, "Off you go. In 2 weeks' time, you're jumping on a plane and you're going around the other side of the world, and you're going to be a part of this shipwrecked show."
Ha, that's cool.
That is how everything just started. All from
See,
that.
see, sometimes a bad thing turns into a good thing. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that. So, how was it on the island?
Oh, it's amazing. I was 22. So I'm 36 now. So I was 22, young, stupid, um, just, just not. It's funny because I look back and I've got the DVDs and they don't come out at all. They haven't come out for a long, long time. And I every time I watch, the hands over my face, going, "What are you going on about?" You just, it's so funny how we change as people. But I learned a lot. And I tell you what, the most important thing was, look, it was great fun. Young people, desert island, beautiful place. I can't tell you how stunning it was. There wasn't a hotel on the other side of the island, which people think there is. It was just, you're roughing it, you're building your own huts and your shelter.
I
I
love
mean,
it.
it was
Yeah,
just
that's cool.
brilliant. It really was. No phones, no technology. It was fantastic. But I learned so much about myself. And I'll tell you what, the one thing I went on there and I had this something inside me where I always had to be liked by everybody. I was just desperate to be liked and desperate to be loved. And it breaks you down, a show like that, because again, you've got no distractions. So what you have is conversation, and you have different scenarios pop up, but you have loads of conversations, and there's no hiding place. So if you're trying to be someone that you're not, it will show. And people on there were very quick to say what they think because they're on a show that needs personality, so they're quick to show it. And to be fair to them, they called me out on it. A couple of people called me out one day, and it really upset me. I remember I went off on my own for half a day, which was a long time over there to be on my own. And I did. I had to. I had to like regain myself and regain my composure and actually understand what was happening and process it in my head. And it was this realization that they're right. I was trying to be someone else because I was desperate to be liked. So I was trying to be someone that actually wasn't really me. And I learned from that, and that was it. It was almost like a breakthrough moment where I started to realize, you know what? Start being yourself. If people don't like you, that's okay. Because quite frankly, I don't like everybody. I'm sure you don't like everybody. There are always people in the world that you're not going to particularly warm to that much. So why should everybody like you? And that was just like this, my mind blown, going, you know what, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be myself. And that was it. And then it just gave me so much more confidence, even though before I thought I had confidence. At this point, I actually had real confidence rather than the false confidence I was walking around with my swagger and highlighted blonde Essex hair as well. So
It's not a bad thing. It takes time to learn about yourself. I think for myself, I think it was one of those things. I was really reserved and really quiet, and I thought that was a bad thing. But then one of my friends pulled me to the side. There's nothing wrong with you being quiet. You're just an observer. And that's a good thing. That's a good trait to have. So you being the way you are, I would love to go. Well, actually, I did. I went to St. Lucia, and
beautiful.
I just went to the top of a hill, and I just stayed there. And I think it was the most beautiful, peaceful moment. Here's a question for you. Since you answered the last one, how do you find peace within yourself now that you're so confident?
Oh, that's God. You didn't warn me about any of these questions. This is this is true. No questions sent to me. Wow. What a question. What a question. How do I find peace with myself? Do you know what? Um, at the moment, I'm finding peace on the golf course.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we can go play golf one day, okay?
Yes, let's do it. I'm
Okay.
finding peace, and I'll tell you what it is. Again, it is because of technology nowadays and constantly being so glued to our phones. And for my work, I'm always on my phone because I'm either reading stuff, reading breaking news, learning, contacting people, calling people, networking, emailing, all this constantly all the time. So always, usually, what I'm doing is waiting for my phone to buzz, and it's not for those endorphin releases, but it's actually for work. It's for I've sent emails. I want something back. I'm waiting to hear about potentially a good job or an opportunity or this. So yeah, the phone becomes this thing that I'm just so reliant upon. Whereas I go on a golf course, my phone's in my bag for 3 or 4 hours, depending on how well the round goes and how many times I hit a ball in the lake or in the woods and try and hunt for it, which is a lot, by the way. Um,
It's all right. I'm there with you.
it's my like place to switch off, and it's
I
my
like
way
it.
of just switching off. And it's the same with any exercise. You know, I've just moved house, and at the back of the garden we've got this unit, and I've turned half the unit into a gym already. And I've got a punch bag in there. I've got a few weights in there. I've got some mat in there, and it's just like I go in there. If I'm on the bag, I've got 30, 40 minutes where nothing else matters. And I tell you what, it does me the world of good. The
See,
world of good.
I love that. See, that in itself is a good thing. So, being a journalist, okay, I know that is a tough job. So, how do you manage stress and tight deadlines when being a journalist? Because I know a lot of people have sent me a request and asked me, okay, this is a question that I would love to ask someone, but I never got an answer back. So,
Mhm.
James, how do you handle stress? And how do you, especially when it comes to journalism?
You have to stay calm. It sounds so simple, but keeping calm, keeping focused on what you're doing, and for me, not letting any outside distractions come in. So for example, I'm tomorrow morning I'll be on Talksport going through back of newspapers for half an hour. Now the newspapers don't come out until either the morning or you get a few late night uh, stories, etc., on the internet. Now I do this remotely at the moment because of the situation where we're at and lockdown and not being able to be in the studio too much. So I have to wait until a producer sends me loads of newspaper articles. They won't come in till probably after 6. So I'll have under an hour to go read through everything, pick out the stories I want to do, understand every single story, and prepare what I'm going to say for 7 o'clock. So it's a short deadline and it's quick. And how I do it, everything in that moment is about my goal. What am I trying to achieve? I'm trying to do the best job I can. I don't let any outside distractions come in. So if I'm researching, the only websites I'm looking at are any websites that are related to what I'm researching. I'm not researching on Instagram because that's not going to help. I'm not researching, probably not researching on Twitter really. Sometimes that can, but it's just about your mindset and being absolutely have this tunnel vision where no outside distractions come in. Because I tell you what, in life, if you do that with everything you do, if you're trying to achieve something, if you can block out everything, it's amazing how much work you can dedicate to that one single thing because you're not allowing anything else to come in. And that, any journalist will tell you, that is the key. Keep calm, but keep focused. It really is as straightforward as that. Just keep calm, keep focused, and trust in what you've been taught, trust in your process, and trust in your experience and ability,
Yeah.
and it will all work out.
How do you know that the facts that you're getting are true? Even when it's coming from a newspaper or the internet or the producer, how do you know that everything that you're getting is factual for you to be able to go out on the next day and actually present it?
Great question. Double check them.
Yeah,
Don't ever rely on one single fact. Don't
good.
look at Wikipedia, which is a common mistake that many make. Oh, but it was on Wikipedia. I was looking at Wikipedia last night. Somebody changed something with a football score, and they could just go in there quickly and change
Yes,
it.
they can. Yeah, you can change it quick.
So if you're taking that as goal, you can't. So you have to first of all find reliable sources, but double check your work. Double check if I've got a stat and I'm reading out a stat, I need to check that. And sometimes I won't just check it twice. I'll check it 3 times. And that's what's the most important thing, because the last thing you want to do, especially if you're a journalist and you're reporting some news, is get anything wrong. Because I tell you what, somebody will pick up on it and you'll get absolutely hammered for it,
Yeah, ripped apart. Yeah, I've seen it
ripped
before.
apart.
Oof. Okay,
And
what
actually,
made
and honestly, rightly so, because you
Yeah,
should do your research and should put your time in and put the effort in. The odd little
true.
mistake is
Yeah,
going to
no,
happen,
that's
but
true.
they've got to be. You've got to just make sure that you're in a position where you're doing the best you can so that those mistakes don't creep in.
Okay, I love that. What made you decide to work on TV? Because TV is something that you do have to have confidence for, and you do have to be prepared for anything.
I think the shipwrecked experience taught me a little bit about TV. I was like a deer in headlights on there at the start. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know what to do.
Aw.
I was completely fooled by the producers at times who would stand there and they'd be behind the camera like smiling at me and nodding and going, "Oh yeah, that's great." And I'm thinking, "Oh, what I'm saying is great," but what I was saying was probably not great for me, but it was great for the whole TV show. But no, look, that I guess helped with being on camera, and then I think through my work and what came after that, just more and more opportunities to be in front of the camera. I know you didn't mention it at the start. We're talking about where to put it in, but after Shipwrecked, I didn't know what I was going to do work wise, and I had a model agency contact the
Yeah.
production company of Shipwrecked, and I got signed up to a model agency called Models One, and I didn't want that. That's not what I wanted to do. I didn't aspire to be a model. I didn't think I was a model type, so to speak. But I thought, go for it. And what it did, it gave me opportunities in front of the camera. It gave me so many auditions, interviews, castings. The amount of people I was meeting was just relentless. And that just over time just built your confidence. So I built this. I built my rhino skin up so that I didn't take any rejections personally. That took time, but when I eventually built that, then you get even more confidence. And then in front of the camera, my main thing is, and I will tell this to any young person, anybody aspiring to be in front of the camera, talking about a subject, whatever that subject is, know your subject.
Ah,
If you know
yeah,
your subject,
I like that.
then anything else you can work on. You can work on your like feeling a bit more natural in front of the camera, but the main thing is know what you're talking about because as soon as you don't on camera, you've got no hope. No hope. No
See,
hope.
what keeps you curious about what you do? What makes you wake up in the morning and say, I'm curious to do this. I want to know more. What direction can I go in? What keeps you curious?
I want to be the best I can be.
I
I
love
want
that.
to be
Yeah.
better every day. I want to achieve every day. I will never settle for second best. I will never settle for a level that I'm at now. There's always a step forward. There's always a step up. There's always more you can do. And for anybody who thinks they're settling, look at somebody else because they're not. And the best in the industry, the best in the business, and whatever business that is, and never settling. They're striving for something more. Now, if you're a journalist, for example, you're striving for that next big story. You're striving for that standout interview that you can get that's going to set you apart from others, where others are going to look at you and go, wow, how did he get that? How did he manage to get that? And that strives me on day in, day out, makes me wake up in the morning and go, right, I've got to do better today. What more can I do? Now, if I'm searching for work, which is happening at the moment, it's tough. What can I do to search for work? What can I do to better myself? Whether it's producing something myself without being paid, but just doing it to show people what I can do? Is it reaching out to new people? Is it suggesting ideas to new people? Something that I regularly am doing currently with Sky Sports News. Anything to just set me apart from someone else and for them to understand that, hold on a minute, this guy's hungry. He's hungry. He hasn't eaten for a week. He hasn't eaten for a month. Wow, he wants it. And that's what it's all about. And that's what gets me up every single morning. Makes me curious every day.
Okay, see, guys, you have to stay curious in what you want to do because believe me, it doesn't come easy. So let's talk about education
Mm-hmm.
because education, I believe, is a key factor in today's society. But my question for you is, when I was doing my research about you, James, there's one thing that stuck out for me is when you said that you went back into education when you were 31.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel like going back to education when they're older can be a setback. But how do you feel about going back into education when you were older rather than when you were younger? What did it do for you?
It was the best decision of my entire life. My entire life. And honestly, I'm not sugarcoating that. It was the best decision I have ever made. Ever made. It was, as I mentioned before, it was something that I'd considered doing when I was at university. And it was my only regret because I don't like to regret things. So you move on. But if you look back and go, oh, if you'd done something slightly different, yeah, that would probably have been it because maybe that was the path I needed to go on. But you're 18 years old. How or 17, I think, when I was picking my course at uni, I didn't know what I wanted to do really. You know what I mean? You never know what you're going to be doing further in life, and I think that's what's key. And I think a lot of young people, they have a lot of pressure on them at 18 if they want to go to university or further education they need to kind of know what they want to do. Well, you don't because you can always change and you can always go back to study. But yeah, 31, I, through speaking to a lot of people within the sports industry and sports journalism, in my eyes and my goal was always to try and see if I could get on Sky Sports. I had this all in my mind since I realized how much I love sport and being on camera. That was my goal. And speaking to people, I knew that my background, without a journalism qualification or anything, would probably struggle to do that nowadays. Back in the day, you could be a certain look, and they'd get you in, right? And I think if we look back at, say, how Sky Sports News used to be, quite often not there'd be a beautiful girl presenting Sky Sports News. Those beautiful girls may not have been qualified journalists, but they were brought up to be presenters. Sky then wanted qualified journalists. They wanted some substance behind everybody. And I just realized that, you know what, there's no time like the present. If I want to move away from doing some modeling and stuff that I was doing, and I was presenting at that point, but not like serious journalism presenting, which I really wanted to do. I knew I had to do something and I knew I had to change. So that was it, decision made. And a year long school trip, shall we call it? I became the granddad of the group. I was the granddad of the group. They all reminded me of that every single day. Everyone was 21, 22. I was 31. I also sat at the front of the class, which never happened in school. So I was at the front of the class. I had my hand up. I was asking questions. I was doing my homework. Honestly, I was that kid you probably hated in school, and I did not care one tiny little bit because I had my goal. I knew what I
Yes.
wanted to achieve, and I was going to
Yes.
do it to the best of my ability.
I
And
love that.
I can't tell you how much I loved it. I
See?
loved it.
I love that. So tell me a little bit about, here we go with obstacles in your life, okay? This is the part I feel is so important. Tell me about an obstacle in your life that you have overcome and has made you reevaluate who you are as a person.
Oh, wow. You're getting me on this Saturday morning, aren't you?
Yeah.
Wow. Uh, Obstacles. I I don't think we've got enough time to talk about maybe obstacles in my that have come up in my life, whether it's my life or rejections in my life, where barriers that people have come. I mean, look, let's talk recently. Got in at Sky Sports News, going really well. Pandemic hit, work stopped. Opportunities to meet different department heads that I had booked in my diary were all cancelled. Opportunities that I had in the summer cancelled. Change of a change of direction where they're looking to go in. All of a sudden, I'm looking, going, "Wow, that's changed." Wow. So I've got this whole big wall now dropped in front of me. How am I going to overcome that? And I do because I'm hungry and I won't let it stop me. So I will keep battering down those brick walls. But I think my biggest barrier, my biggest one that I would say, though, personal one, was back in 2013. And
Yeah.
I had moved back. I'd lived in LA for about 2.5 years, lived in LA, moved back home and struggled mentally, struggled to adjust to life back in London, away from LA, struggled to know where I was going with my life, struggled with some personal stuff that was going on with like an ex-girlfriend at the time. Um, just struggled to know who I was at that point. Struggled to deal with the fact that I'd come back from LA and felt like I'd failed. I'd gone over there for a couple of reasons, and one of the big reasons was to achieve and to achieve in my life, to achieve to get presenting opportunities, to start transitioning into sport. That's where I thought I had a really, really good opportunity, and it didn't happen. And it was really tough to take. And I remember coming back, and then I went back into this presenting job for this very obscure casino show
Ooh.
on the popular channel 863 at the time. Everybody probably knows that. I'm sure you all watched. And and but it was tough. You know, it was this transition though, coming back and going back into the same thing that I was doing before I went to LA, and all I had was these little memories, and I struggled to cope with it. Really, really struggled. Was drinking a lot at the time. Went through a phase of literally every evening popping open wine in bed, sitting there going, God, this is awful. Just want to just stop feeling like this. Went on a trip because I thought, yeah, great, get away for a bit, go. And I went
Yeah.
over to Thailand, and worst thing I could have done, because
Why?
first of all, I'm all for getting space, but pick where you're going to go if you're feeling low. Pick a safe environment. Pick somewhere where
Uh-oh.
there's no temptations, there's no nothing. Now you go to Thailand, you know, it's like where we were, it was like party time. Now,
Oh
usually
boy.
I would love that, but the mindset I was in, I couldn't cope with it. I couldn't cope with, because it was, again, we're drinking again. And again, drink makes you depressed. and it makes you feel down and low. And literally, I was supposed to be there 3 weeks. I lasted 7 or 8 days to the point where I was like, this isn't right. I need to get home. I need to get away from this environment. I need to sort myself out and find out where I'm going. And that was the biggest obstacle I've ever had in my life. And I jumped on a flight, got back, and I'm open talking about this. And I got back and I went straight to the doctors actually. And I went to the doctor, sat down with my doctor, and he said, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And I listed off like this whole list of things that happened in this last 6 months, there was a few personal stuff that was quite tough, but listed it all, and then said that, yeah, but I was drinking and stuff. And he went, "James, no wonder you're feeling like that. You've gone through a lot, and then you're adding to it with your drink. You're just making yourself feel worse. Like, you're going to feel low because of things that have happened, and so it's like this acceptance. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right to feel a little bit low."
Yeah.
That's when you see that slogan, "It's okay not to be okay." That was this moment in my head. It was like,
Yeah.
because I'd always thought, no, I can't feel bad. I can't feel down. That's not me. That's not my personality. But all of a sudden, it was like, it's okay. And it was just this like, oh, moment. And honestly, that was it. It's so one little me. So there was no, didn't go on antidepressants, didn't need counseling. I was always a talker, and I am, as you can probably tell. And so I talked to my close friends and family all the time, and they helped me through. And I stopped drinking for a period of time, sorted my sleep out, exercise, got a bit of routine and structure in my life. And all of a sudden, everything was back to normal. And I'd gone through an experience and a massive hurdle, but I'd overcome it. I'd learned from it. And I know all the triggers, and I know never to go down that route again.
See?
So there you go.
But everything happens for a reason. You wouldn't be the person you are today without what you've been through in your
100%.
past.
100%. And I hope that I help others as well who might be feeling low. And I have done recently. It's been a really rough time for a lot of people right now with what's going on. Really, really tough on your mental health. And I hope that I've helped. There's a fair few people I've been speaking to, and I'm hopefully helping them a little bit if I can. And even sharing this story, I hope that if it helps one person, then I'm so happy, because it's hard, but you're not on your own. We all go through these times. Keep strong, keep focused, keep clean of any stuff that's going to make it worse for you. Get some structure in your life, get a bit of organization. And you know what? Simple thing, get a to-do list.
Yeah, I have that.
Get a to-do list. Wake up in the morning, or night before, write your to-do list and go, right, what am I going to do this today? Right, that means I wake up in the morning, you know what you're going to do because you've got this to-do list that you can just go through, and it gives you purpose. And that's what's key.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that as well, because I know
pleasure.
it will help people. When was the last time you tried something new?
Oh, last time I tried something new. Oh, no. Good question. Wow. I feel like I wish I could ask my girlfriend. She would probably know more. She'd probably say, "You haven't." Do you know we did go? We tried. We went to Cambridge. Does that count?
Yeah, it counts. It counts.
That counts. So we went to Cambridge. Tried something new. Got some bikes that we hadn't done before, and rode some bikes and absolutely loved it. So yeah, I would say that that's something new. Yeah, I'm sure there's more. If it comes to me, I will shout it out.
Okay.
But I am all for trying new things. So if you can, even though I can't think of some, if somebody suggests something, I'm all for saying yes and going with it.
Easy, because people might start sending in requests.
That's okay. Do it.
Okay.
That's an adventure, right? That's an adventure. Send requests in.
Okay,
give me something new to try. I'll do it.
All right. I love that. Okay. Right. Be prepared. What are you most proud of that you stand for?
I would say what I'm most proud being just having good morals. I really believe that, and it's a great question. But it's a question that you don't usually ask yourself, and I guess talking about yourself and putting praise on yourself is something that I would say we all struggle to do, unless apart from those uber confident people who just
Oh,
think
the
they're
ego
so
ones.
amazing, the ego ones. Yeah, I'm definitely not like that. I definitely don't walk around going, "I am amazing." Uh,
I wish you guys could see how he done that.
I walked with a little swagger then,
Yeah, you
um,
did.
or move my hips or shoulders because I'm sat down actually. But no, look, I think my morals and my work ethic, I would say, are my two things that I'm most proud of. I'm most proud of the fact that it doesn't matter how many times I get knocked down, I'm always getting back up, and that's what matters. And that's to anybody out there as well. We get rejected all the time. We get rejected, whether it's our personal life or work life. For me, work life relentlessly had rejections, but I've always picked myself up, never allowed it to just get me right down. I've always picked myself up and fought back, and I've always then gone on to achieve. And for me, that resilience is probably, yeah, it's probably one of my strengths. But I like to think that I have extremely high morals. I like to think that I treat all people I meet with respect because I think that I deserve the same respect as I give out. If I act differently, then how can I ask anybody to be respectful towards me? So that's really key, and that's key with the people I bring into my life. Do you know what I mean? The people I have close to me are the people that I respect. If those people haven't got the same morals, they will be distanced from me because I don't want that as part of my life. I want good people in my life who are going to help people and bring good in this world and bring good to me and bring good to others. And I hope to do the same for them, So without blowing my trumpet too much, I'm not a Mother Teresa. I'm not perfect, but I tell you what, I'm trying my best to get as close to it as I possibly can. And I think we should all try to do that and aspire to do that.
I love that. That makes sense to me. What would you do differently, James, if no one was judging you?
Ooh. We're all judged in this world. It's one of the
Exactly. Yeah.
one of the things in life that we all have
Exactly.
to prepare for.
Yeah.
Somebody knocking on my door. That's no good, is it?
You could go and check. It's fine. Go check.
Right, hold on. I'm gonna
Okay.
just not. Sorry.
It's okay. Go for it.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cool.
We have a package.
Ah. See, I
Do you
hope
know,
it's something good.
do you know what it is? It's
Go
my
on.
it's my Busy Bee tablets, vitamin tablets.
Oh, okay.
Got that from my
Mhm.
granddad. He was a
Oh,
man who he loved all that stuff, and he used to take all these things. And my parents very different. They think they're all nonsense. They're all for balanced diet, all in proportions. My granddad used to think outside the box, and he used to have his vitamins and stuff like that. My mum and dad used to go, "Oh, what is he doing with them? What is he doing with them?" He lived till he was 96.
whoa.
So for me, he did something right. And
Yeah, he did.
I tell you what, it has been for the last 5 years. It has it to me makes a difference as well. Makes me healthier, more vitamins inside me. All good.
I love it. Hey, that's perfect for me. Where was we? Judging. Ha, here we are. If no one was judging you, what would you do differently?
I think what would I do differently if no one was judging me? God, you asked some amazing questions. Wow, I'm gonna need a lie down after this. So after this, I'm gonna
Yeah.
call you so you can talk me
Okay.
through and soothe me to sleep with your
I'll do. That's fine.
beautiful, amazing voice.
I'll do
Um,
that.
what would I do if no one was judging me?
The world is hard. We get judged all the time.
Do you know what? I don't think I would do anything differently.
I like that. That's a good answer. I'm
I I,
actually
re-
glad you said that.
I really don't. Why? Because do you know why? Because I don't care that people judge me.
That's the answer I was looking for.
I don't. I don't care. I used to. I don't anymore. I used to care all the time. You'd look through social media or tweet and you'd find it's that classic, 10 nice comments, one bad one. Pain and horror with the one bad one. Oh, this person doesn't like me, judges me because I say a word differently, or my hair's out of place, or whatever. I don't know. And it's amazing how little that person means in the grand schemes of life. And when you
Yep.
realize that, who cares? Look, we are in a world where we judge people. I have done it at times. I try desperately not to do it anymore. But we are in this judgmental world, and I just think let them judge, but be true to who you are.
Yes.
That's it. Doesn't matter.
See, that works for me. What one thing do you wish you knew before you began your career?
I wish. Well, again, it's probably back to the sort. I wish I knew how. First of all, how much work is needed to get to where you need to be. Second of all, I wish I didn't rely in my early stages of my life, especially when I went to America, on my accent and the way I looked, because I was naive to think that I could just probably just kind of get away with skipping a few little yards of hard work because of how I looked. And in America, an
Ah,
accent of speaking English, I thought, you know what, I might be all right there. And that was so naive and so stupid to think that way. Utterly ridiculous to think that way because it just doesn't work like that. That's just cheating. You're cheating, and you need to put in the hard work. And so I think that was probably that would probably be my thing is learn at an earlier age, as in my university age, 18 to 21, to put in the work now. And I have to say, look, there's some amazingly talented young people out there that I've been speaking to recently, and they're 18, 20, 21, 22. They are working so much harder than I ever worked, and I love seeing it. I think it's fantastic, and they are putting in so much graft, and it's brilliant to see. And that is the key. And I'm glad that many young people are doing that now, because that is something that I definitely could have done more of at the start. And if I'd done that when I was younger, it'd have put
yeah.
me even higher than where I am today. So, yeah.
See, how do you think the world would be without no social media?
I'd be the best place ever. The best place ever. Get rid of it tomorrow. I am all
Oh,
for rip it up, tear it up, get rid of it. It's yeah, I feel like yes, it's great in so many aspects, but it causes so many problems in another way. And I think unfortunately in the next 5, 10 years, maybe 10, yeah, probably 5, 10 years, I think we're going to feel the brunt of what social media has caused. I really do. I believe it's going to cause so many issues. I know we've talked about mental health a little bit and touched upon it, and it's prevalent in the world right now, but it's prevalent in the news. Maybe it's something that the reason why it's so high is because people are talking about it and it wasn't before, and people are claiming, well, that's why social media is good because it gives people the voice to talk. Yes, it does, but also what social media does can cause that. So, an example: my godson, he's 12 now, he's on Instagram, and I saw him about a year and a half when this happened, and he was like, "I'm on Instagram. Look how many likes I've got. I've got like 60 likes on this picture. My friend's only got 20. Oh, like this." And I
oh,
was like,
there it
"Wow, you're
begins.
11 years old at this point," and I had to tell him off. And I told him, I said,
Yeah,
I said, you can't think like that. That doesn't make you any better than him. Doesn't
yeah,
make you bigger than him. So don't put him down because you've got that. Be humble.
yeah.
And it's horrible though. But my niece is the same. She's 11. She's her parents are my sister and brother-in-law. They're not allowing her to be on social media. So they're not. She's allowed on TikTok or do her
Yeah.
TikTok videos, so to speak, which is fine. She loves that. So good as well. But she's not allowed like a YouTube channel. She's not allowed an Instagram page, and it's really good because I can see already in her that this kind of she's got a bit of a need to be liked, similar
Okay.
to what I had when I was younger. And so I try and talk to her about all that, and she talks about this nice. I try and talk to her about coping with people who maybe don't like you or don't warm to you as much. And you have to be strong. And I keep coaching her through that. And that's not focusing on a negative. It's just preparing her because that will come. No, nobody. Nobody gets away with just being loved. That doesn't work. It doesn't happen. Everyone who is loved, the biggest idols in the world, who are loved by millions and millions. You know, you've worked with or done some work with like David Guetta, loved by millions and millions.
Yeah,
You telling
yeah.
me there's people out there that don't like him? Of course there are.
Oh, there's loads.
Loads. I love him, by
There's
the way.
loads.
But loads. So, you know, you've got to be able to deal with that, the rough and the smooth. But yeah, social media, get rid of it. The world would be great. We'd be talking to people like human beings. We wouldn't
Yeah.
all be glued to our phones and walking down the street being those annoying people that don't look where they're going and they're just on the phones. We wouldn't waste so much time scrolling through everybody's pictures of dogs and avocado and scrambled eggs. We would just be getting on with the world and we'd be achieving so much more.
That's true, that makes a lot of sense to me. Here's a question for you is I believe that people are not defined by their job roles or their titles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I believe that people are defined more about the kindness in their hearts and who they are as a person. What would you say defines you as a person and an individual?
Oh, great question. And I'm absolutely with you. Job role doesn't define anybody. You could be the CEO of the biggest company in the world. You could be an absolute arsehole and nobody will still want to speak to you. Job roles definitely don't define you. Be defined by who you are and the person you are. For me, I'm somebody with a big heart. I love to love. I love my family. I love my friends. I love to put them first. I love to support people who are struggling and help people in their battles because people have helped me in the past. I like to reciprocate that. Um, and ultimately, though, I want to have fun while I do it,
Yeah.
and I can be serious, and I can talk deep if I need to talk deep, but I can also have fun. And for me, it's laughing. Laughing's a great medicine. You know,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
me and my girlfriend. So we are so stupid together. Honestly, we are so incredibly stupid together. Every day we make each other laugh constantly. We might argue at times, but I tell you what will always shine
Hey.
through is the fact that we're making each other laugh. And for me, looking at the lighter side of life, that helps a lot as well. So yeah, somebody who's been I describe myself somebody who's had morals built into them, a big heart, caring, open, friendly, and love a laugh.
See, I love that. If there was anyone that you could work with as a presenter, who would you like to work with, who you admire? Because there's so many out there.
Oh, there's so many. Oh, what a question. Wow. Honestly, if you could see under the table, I've got my legs
Yeah.
tight together. They're all squeezed. Everything's squeezed together. I'm just like,
Careful now.
I know, I know. Be careful. My voice might go a little bit high. Do you know what? I tell you one I really, really respect. One presenter, sports presenter, I respect and think she is so good, and that is Gabby Logan.
Oh wow, yeah.
Right,
I've
left
seen
field,
Gabby
not
Logan.
somebody that people would normally talk about. A lot of people will go Gary Lineker or Anton Decks and stuff like that. Now, Anton Deck, by the way, I think are so damn good because they are so natural. They are just
Yes.
themselves. They are, to me, the reason why they are so good. They are epitome to presenters in the entertainment world because it's not an act; it's them. They are
Yeah.
just them on screen, and that is what is key. And that's what's key for any presenters is and it's also a challenge for me at times because I do a lot of corporate work sometimes. So when I'm doing corporate presenting, you have to it's very different. You have to speak properly all the time and you're presenting more than just kind of being a bit more casual and a bit more you. But Gabby Logan, she's so talented. She's so good. She's so slick that I just think she is just one of the best, if not the best, in the sports world for that reason. Just smooth, slick, effortless. She's got a great sense of humor as well. I think she's fantastic. I would love to work with her. I haven't yet met her. I would love to meet her at one point. Hopefully, it will happen in the future. But I
It
think
will.
she is fantastic. I really do.
We're gonna have to send her this interview, okay?
Gabby, I love you. Not in a creepy way, though. That really was creepy. No, look, send her that bit, but before I said I love you, because that's creepy.
That's what editing's for.
I, editing the best thing ever.
Okay, here's my favorite question I love to ask everyone, okay? So, if you could choose one quote that represents you as a person,
Mhm.
what quote would you choose and why would you choose that particular quote?
I think I've said it already,
Go for it.
Savia. I think I've said it already. No matter how many knockdowns you get, it doesn't matter. What matters is how many times you get back up. And that for me is, and a friend of mine, do you know, it's one of my best friends told me that. And I don't know if he'd, do you know, I'm actually playing golf with him this afternoon. I'm going to ask him where he got it from or whether that's just something that came into his mind at this point. And he said it to me years ago, right? Years and years ago. It's so weird, but he's always stuck with me. And because I'd phone him after a disappointment, and he would say that to me, he said, like, that doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. No, that doesn't matter. What is important, what people will respect is the amount of times you get back up, and you always get back up.
Yeah.
And that for me is something that he reminded me recently, because I had a bit of disappointment recently, but I learned now not to let it linger. It might linger half a
Yeah.
day. I can give it a day, I can give it a night, and that's it. Next day, done. Over it, move on. But that is the best quote. And people often hold on to disappointments, and you don't need to.
Yes.
Just concentrate on all the times that you get back up, and you'll always get back up.
There's always an opportunity waiting for you and the door will open. So I agree with you there. So here's a bit of a cliche question actually, because it's gonna sound a bit funny the first part. It is. If you were stuck on a desert island, which you were, and you were by yourself this time, you didn't have everyone else around you. I know you spoke about one particular person who you really would like to work with, but what TV personality other than the one you did say before would you take to have a conversation with on a desert island? Because remember, you're by yourself and you have to be able to get along with this person. So who would you take on a desert island? A TV personality or someone else that
Wow.
you could sit down and have a conversation with?
Wow, wow, wow. Do you know what? I think first name first name that's come into my head, so I've got to go with that, right? I can't
Go for it.
I don't want to, because otherwise I'll be here all day and it'll be the longest podcast that will just be full of silent tones of my brain thinking, which is dangerous at the best of times. Um, I'm gonna say Thierry Henry.
Ooh,
Right. Now this came into my head straight away, and I'm a sports nut. I'm a
okay.
football fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, but don't tell
So am
anyone.
I.
Good.
No, so am
That's good.
I.
That's good.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
And he, how he played the game, what he achieved in sport, what he's doing now in management. I would love to just talk to him about his life, but he's always one person who's always got a smile on his face, and he
That's
likes to
true.
joke. He likes to enjoy himself as well. So he's got, to me, he's got that perfect mix of a person that I would just love to pick his brains. I would love to sit there. I'll build him a fire because I know how to do that on a beach now, and
Oh,
yeah, I'll build him fire. I'll build him the camp as well, so he'll be happy. And I'll cook him some food, maybe some rice and some lamb's tongue, which was
oh.
the food of choice out in where I was. Yep, I can see your face shocked. Yep, it was a delightful dish. It was horrendous. It was honestly one of the most disgusting things I've ever had in my life, and we
Wow.
didn't have a choice but to eat it. But I would do
Say
all
if you were
that.
vegetarian.
Say that again.
Say if you were vegetarian.
Do you know what? I don't know on the whole show if there was one vegetarian.
If they
Isn't
were,
that
they were in
amazing?
trouble.
Yeah, there was not one. Not one.
I'd just be cooking good leaves and rice then. That's it.
Yeah, we had rice.
That's fine. You
Yeah,
could boil a nice rice and make a nice. I've
interesting.
done. I'll climb up a tree. I like climbing up trees. So I must have find something
So
up there.
those are coconuts.
That's fine. I'll be a coconut lady.
But you know the coconuts, how dangerous they are.
Why?
The amount of people that are killed by coconuts dropping from trees is like really high. And this
Yeah,
sounds
but
really, and this sounds really bad. They are, but bear in mind they're solid. Bear in mind,
yeah.
think how high the trees were. And I had my first near-death experience. Actually, no, my
What?
it's about my sixth because my mum tried to kill me off a few times when I was younger.
So you praise your mum and then you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my mum weren't the best when I was very, very young. I mean, I love my mum, Mum, if you ever listen, I love you. You know that. But when I was young, so let me run through a few that come into my mind right away. One, I was in a carry cot. She was doing the shopping. She put me down, was putting on a shopping bag, but where she put me down was behind another car that was reversing back.
What?
Yeah, bang, knocked me, banged on the thing, and fortunately I was okay and didn't run me over. Another time, they went to say goodbye to some friends, left me in the lounge asleep in my cot. We had a cat at the time. The cat decided to sit on my head and start suffocating me. They came
Oh
in
my
and had to like
gosh.
get the cat off, and yeah, that nearly ended badly. Left me in the kitchen once when I was a tiny bit older, and I decided to think that a teapot that had just been boiled was a box of biscuits, and decided to pour that all down me. That was a rush into A&E, but I survived it all. I survived it all, but it got me to my near-death experience with coconut. While I was on shipwrecked, sat down, chilling, enjoying life, squeezing my abs so that they could look as great as possibly can at that age, even though I was just skinny. Bang, this thud. And we were like, what was that? And I looked, a meter behind me, a coconut had fallen from a tree
See?
up. A meter.
Wow.
A meter, and that
Wow.
was it.
Wow.
There's no getting back. It would have done.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really, really serious.
Okay,
Yeah.
right, well, I'm not going I'll stick to mangoes then. I'll stick
Go to mangoes. The coconuts are good though. They just, yeah,
No, they're good. The coconut water is really good for you and the inside is really
coconut water's
nice.
great. Oh,
Yeah, it's refreshing. It's
very
so
refreshing.
refreshing. Look at us talking about coconut water now.
What was the question again?
Oh yeah, I might just go on to the next one. Okay, right. So we're gonna talk a little bit about music now.
Okay.
So if you were, what would you pick to be your most? Because what I'm doing, actually, I'll tell you,
Mhm.
and I'll tell the listeners as well, because this might be cool. I'm making a playlist on Spotify, and I'm gonna send it to Spotify for the Ask People podcast, and any guest who I have is allowed to put in their favorite song. So, what's your favorite song, James?
Oh, you can't ask that. That is a question you should have given me
Yeah.
time to prepare.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
life.
know what? Do you know what? Right? Okay, I'll do you a favor.
Please do, please.
Okay, if you can't think of it right now, we'll skip it. And guys who are listening, I'll tell you what I'll do. When I speak to James, I'll send him a WhatsApp. Say, James, yeah, I'm gonna give you some time to think of a song. Then James will send me the song, and then when his podcast comes out, in his description below, I'm gonna put, "This is what James couldn't remember.
Yeah, do that. Do
This is
that because
James's
at the moment
song."
I am just going through so many in my head, and to pick
It's like a
one,
catalog, right?
oh, it's so tough.
It is tough. It's hard, but I love tough questions.
Yeah,
So,
but that's like
th-
a.
th-
I mean, there's tough questions, and there's asking somebody to pick your favorite song out of how many songs have there been created in this world?
oof,
Billions?
yeah, it might be
Billions.
trillions actually. It might be
Might well
trillions.
be trillions.
Yeah, it
Probably
might be
is trillions to
trillions.
be honest, because I used to create music when I was younger, and then
See?
it's not a real song. Oh goodness me! It's such a that's a humdinger. If anybody's listening to this right now, right on you right now, have a think right now and see how long it takes you to come up with your favorite song.
That's a good one actually. Yeah,
And I know some
that's a
people
good
will go,
one.
"Oh, I know it
Oh,
already."
I know. This
Like,
is
come on,
easy.
come on, give it some thought. Tough question. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
No, that's fine. Okay, here's another one for you. Define what success means to you because everybody has a different definition. But what does success mean to you, James?
Success for me, health and happiness. As
I love that.
cheesy and as cliche as it
It's
comes, I
fine.
think. Look, yes, money's great. Money comes and goes, though. Money comes with success. So you that just park that focus. That doesn't mean anything to me really. It's great to have it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not. It doesn't make you happy all the time. I've been fortunate at times to earn very good money at times in my life. Did it make me happy? Not always, no. So to be healthy, to be happy, that is success in my mind. To create a good family, to have a family that's proud of me as well. For me is a definition of success. Um, But for me, it's just doing the best I possibly can. Reach my
I like that.
potential. Whether I ever reach my potential, probably not, but I will keep striving and striving and striving and doing all I can to
I
get as
think you will.
far as I possibly can. And that for me is success.
I think you will, James, because you seem to me, you seem like a really determined person.
Yeah, but I'm just
I
fake. I'm
really,
faking it.
that's a lie. He's not faking it. He's not.
I'm,
He's
jo-
not
I'm
faking
joking.
it.
I'm
He's
joking.
not.
I'm joking. No,
You
that's
can
kind of you to
always,
say.
you can always tell when you talk to someone whether or not they're being honest about themselves and who they are, rather than someone who's being pretentious and has an ego. And I've spoken to a lot of people, and you've been one of the most outgoing guests I've ever had on the show. So
Oh,
that's really nice.
that's
So
very
that's
nice of you
that's
to
my
say.
that's my compliment to you today.
That's a great compliment. I,
Yeah.
I will take that. Thank you
So
very much.
no,
I just am who I am.
he's shy now. He's gone shy, guys.
I have good shy.
He's gone shy. Oh, so cool.
It's getting hot in here now.
I've got two more for you, James,
Okay.
before I leave you to depart. Okay, so my second to last question is, what advice would you give your fans and your followers, because we all have them, even though sometimes we think we don't, okay, about being positive in any industry that we strive to go into, and just being optimistic and
Mhm.
supportive. Because there was a time when we felt like, and we've spoken about it today, where we felt like we didn't have the support. There were things going on in our life. We were making mistakes that were lessons in our life. What advice would you give to those people today listening to the podcast?
The advice I'd give is knuckle down, work harder than the next person.
Yeah,
Because in my industry and in probably pretty much every industry, if you're not willing to put in the work, I guarantee you there are hundreds of other people who are willing to put in the work, who are
that's true.
sat there while you're going, oh, do you know what? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna bother doing it. I'm just gonna do like half an hour research. There'll be somebody who does an hour research. Someone that you do an hour research, someone who does 2 hour research. It is about putting in more effort than the next person, and that for me is, if you can learn anything, and if I can help in any way, that is by getting through to you that you it's not easy, this journey, but if you work hard and you're determined enough, you can achieve it in it. And that's the key. Don't be put off by rejection. Don't be put off by disappointments in your life. Don't let them beat you down, because you can come back stronger. And if you've got that determination, and if you've got that will, you will succeed. I guarantee that. But you've got to put in the work. Don't expect things to just come your way. I made that mistake when I was younger, and I'll never make that mistake again. Do not ever do that. Go out there, achieve it, work hard, knuckle down, but be better than the next person. You do that and you'll be successful.
See, that's good advice there, guys. And it came from the heart. I wish there was a video with this, but it came from the heart. I could see that.
Yeah, I wasn't actually
Finally,
looking at
James.
you then either. Yeah,
No, you went on a
interesting.
tangent.
I was
You
in the
just went.
zone. Don't know
You
what
was in the
happened there.
zone.
Um,
You definitely was in. I liked it. No, it's good. When things come from the heart, you generally just go boom, and then it just comes out.
but I mean it.
So it
And
must.
if anyone,
Yeah.
anyone ever wants to reach out to me, I respond to anybody who wants some advice, just some words, whatever it is.
Well,
Drop
James responded to me. Yeah.
Yeah, drop me a message. I'll respond to everybody, because I know what it's like when people don't respond to me. It's so annoying, and I hate it. And so I can't preach and get annoyed by that if I'm not doing the same. But no, look, I will help anybody, any young people out there that need any advice or on anything. Then reach out, and I'll try my best.
Cool. Perfect. Finally, my last question for you: where can we find you on all your social medias?
We're not on there because we're banning it today, aren't we?
Yeah, we're banning it. Yeah,
It's
today we're
banned.
banning it.
Savia, we're
Uh
gone.
huh.
Social media ban. No, James Green in UK. Yeah, James Green in UK on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram, but I'm not an Instagram fan. I do use it sometimes, but I don't. I just don't
Fair
like it.
enough.
I just don't like Instagram. Right? I don't like it. It's just pictures.
Yeah.
There's no
No, that's
substance
fair
to it.
enough.
But James Green in UK on Twitter, you realise why it's James Green in UK, because there's about a mazillion James Greens on this planet. Even one that's now dating Ant McPartland's ex-wife, and I got sent an article by 2 friends who said, "Is there something that you're not telling me?" Because he literally was a similar age to me as well. Yeah, it's not me though. But yes, follow me on Twitter. Feel free. I talk a lot about sport, so I do apologise if you don't like sport. Probably best not to follow me if you don't like sport.
Oh, don't say that. No, follow James. Come on, guys.
And then if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn, then I guess just search James Green and hope for the best. Because I don't know what my URL is on LinkedIn, but search get James Green. Hope for the best. Hope you find me, and then I'll respond to any messages you have.
I like the way he says. Actually, I did, James. I did tell you. Actually, I didn't tell you. I did type in your name in Google, right? And I was like, "Holy cow!"
What came up?
It was. No, it's nothing bad. It was just. It was. He's like, "What you hiding? Hold on, wait. I stopped laughing. What you hiding?"
I'm not hiding anything.
It was just a line of different James Greens that came up.
Do you know what? Once I kept on getting stopped at airports, especially when I was going to and from to America. Stopped, taken into rooms all the time, and I was like, "What is going on?" I was getting so annoyed by it. It's because there was a serial killer on the loose called James Green.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. And so they just stopped me because of my name. And it got to a point where I asked, I said, "Look, what is going on? This is happening all the time. I don't understand." And they said, there's this, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, wow. Yeah, there you go."
That's different. Okay, right. Well, James is not that person, guys.
I'm not a serial killer.
He's not that. He's not that person.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Okay. Right. On that note, we're gonna leave the podcast.
What a way to leave.
We're gonna leave the podcast on a positive note by me saying.
That's no positive note, is it?
James, I want to thank you so much for coming on the Yes People podcast. You've been such a great guest. You showed your personality, you showed your wisdom, and you showed your kindness.
Oh,
and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me, Savia. I've loved it. It's been an hour of so much fun. The toughest questions I've ever been asked as well. But your soothing voice makes it so much better.
Thank you, James. And guys, thank you so much for listening to the Yes People podcast. Please remember you can subscribe to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and any platform that you prefer to listen to. Oh, and I also have an announcement. We are now on SoundCloud. So that's another platform for you guys to go and listen to. Hey, James gave me the hands. Please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And please remember you can donate to the Yes People podcast by simply going on to the Savia Rocks website or just typing in paypal.me/Us People podcast. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another.
That was so good. You're so good, honestly. You're great. You're so good. You're so calm and relaxed, and your questions are brilliant as well. It's so good to do something slightly different. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, because we didn't know each other, so you just never know what to expect. And honestly, I think you're great. I really do. And any way I can help you, I will love to help you.